All right, we've talked about phishing, spear phishing, whaling. Those are kind of common attacks, but what about the other types of social engineering attacks that you may have never heard of? Let's talk about it. All right, welcome back. I'm Chris Burns from Techie Gurus. Let's talk all things social engineering. So we talk about email, we talk with phishing, we talk about vishing with voicemail, smishing with SMS. But what are other types of attacks that can be used for social engineering that can get information from individuals? So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into a number of attacks, and I'm kind of going to break down and explain each one. And what's funny is you'll probably already know they existed. You probably just didn't know they had a name. So let's get into it. All right, now let's talk about 8 different types of social engineering attacks that you may or may not have heard of. Number 1 is angler phishing. Now, this is a newer type of phishing. It involves social media, and it involves creating customer service accounts that are spoofed for certain companies. And what they'll do is they'll go after disgruntled customers, and they'll try to get personal information or even account information from these people. Number 2 is a diversion theft. And that's an online theft where they try to trick the victims into sending sensitive information to the wrong person. Often this is done with some sort of spoofing of email addresses of someone with the victim's company, usually targeting like audit or financial firms. Number 3 is baiting. Now, baiting is kind of interesting because it's a way of social engineering where they're trying to get their victims, they're kind of luring their victims into providing sensitive information or credentials, where they create like a false promise to where maybe they say, hey, if you do this, we'll give you a gift card or whatnot, or maybe they'll send something and say, hey, redeem this gift card. In reality, baiting also involves like dropping a USB flash drive in your parking lot that is branded for your company. And if somebody takes it in and plugs it into their PC, guess what? They probably just downloaded malware. Number 4 is pretexting. And pretexting is pretty sophisticated in that it creates a specific scenario that's fabricated in order to con a user into providing their password or financial information or even kind of social security information. They may pretend to be somebody from like tech support, an IRS auditor, or some other person of authority that tricks the user into giving up information. Number 5 is SMS phishing. It's also called smishing. Now, this is becoming a larger and larger problem, especially with the way that we use text messages for multi-factor authentication. What they could do is if they had credentials into a bank account, they could send you a fake message to go to this link and submit your multi-factor authentication request, and it would actually give them the code and they'd be able to log into your account. This is becoming more and more of a problem. We've also seen it where they use it to fake like being like the CEO of a company or a boss of somebody, and they'll say, hey, I need you to send these gift cards. So they trick people into going to buy gift cards and then sending them the codes. Number 6 is Scareware. Now this, you've probably seen this where you go on a website and all of a sudden it pops up, you have a virus, blah, 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 call now. Yeah, don't call. There's going to be alarming sounds on your computer and things like that. It's trying to trick you into calling, and then it's going to get you to a technician that then helps you with your PC, helps you clean it up. But when in reality, they're just loading malware to try to steal information. Number 7 is a watering hole attack. And this is something that you probably won't even know that you are actually hit with. And it's where a hacker will infect a legitimate website. They'll find some sort of vulnerability or something in a legitimate website that you visit, something that you trust. And then once you log into the site, the hacker can capture your credentials, financial information, things like that. There's a big problem with certain payment systems that have had this where customers will put their information and it gets leaked because there's a vulnerability that's be able to be used. So they'll steal like credit card information and things like that. And number 8 is a phishing attack. And that's voicemail phishing. Basically, they're going to trick you into disclosing information or giving you direct access to the computer via telephone. One of the popular ones is call the IRS or the FBI or maybe like a warrant or something like that. And they're trying to trick you into calling them and giving them up this information. A lot of times this attacks older individuals. So your grandparents, maybe your parents, and they may fall victim to it because they are very sophisticated attacks. And they're very good at what they do. All right, so I hope this kind of gives you an idea of a lot of different social engineering attacks. There's more, but the idea is the same. The premise is the same. It's all about gaining your trust, creating a sense of urgency, and then trying to get information from you or get you to do something that you may not want to do. So take this information and you can give it to your users. You could share this information. We can have a deeper conversation about this. Like and subscribe. Again, comment down below. Ask us questions. We're more than willing to answer questions. If you've been a victim of one of this, let us know. We'd love to tell your story, and we'll tell it in a way that doesn't involve your company's name ever coming out, your personal information ever coming out. I love stories. I'm trying to collect stories because our goal is to help companies understand the risks that they face and be able to protect themselves. And this extends even beyond business. It extends to personal, situations. Again, phishing is a big problem with our older citizens, senior citizens, to where they're getting conned out of thousands of dollars in some cases or more. And it's a big problem. So we want to help. We want to be there for you. So again, like, subscribe, comment, ask us questions. If you want to see something specific, let us know. And until next time, stay cyber safe.